Oh.
There we go.
Try now.
So
Cheers, Mark.
try now, Jess.
Well,
Neil
there we
says.
are. There you see.
So-
well,
so-
it's unlucky 13. One
There-
issue down, two go. Comes in threes.
Exactly. So, as I was saying before we had audio, welcome to episode 13. As Jess said, unlucky for some. And I said, well, let's check to see if we've got eyes and whether we've got sound and all that sort of stuff.
Well, sound's now back on. So Frank will be very ecstatic to know he can hear you waffle on now.
How lucky.
He might ask to have the sound turned back on off again.
Yeah,
So.
he will. No, that's great. We
typically
have a huge show for you today. There's so much going on. We're really getting into the troll season now, and I've scribbled all sorts of things down on my pad, and Jess has told me I need to get a hurry up if I want to get it all done in 30 minutes.
I should have a little bell.
Yeah.
Next subject. Move on.
Yeah, no worries. So first of all, a big shout out to Sue Baldwin. So sorry to hear you're on the injury bench. Sue had a minor get off. Just trying to
Similar to your minor get off, except at least it didn't end in fractured necks. There's
Well,
something about these minor get-offs that
I
we
know.
really have to work on.
I know, and it is so true. It's always the silly little accidents where you get injured. You know, you have a great, mixer, and you come off unscathed, and you have this minor thing, and you end up with an injury. So, unfortunately, Sue's ended up with a fractured bone. I think it's in her left arm because she was talking about her clutch finger.
Yep.
So
in the arm. I thought it was the hand.
no, the hand,
Oh,
the
the
hand,
hand.
which will affect her
See,
clutch finger.
hand,
So hand, arm, you know what I mean.
you know.
So yeah, all the best, Sue. Speedy recovery. Unfortunately, it looks like she's going to be out for potentially up to 12 months. 12 weeks.
Oh, God,
Sorry.
I was gonna say.
Similar to me. So
Yeah.
so we'll see how we go.
Well, I better get that couch then.
Yeah, look, we're going to need 3 of them now, I think we'll say. I was talking to Phil Drew the other day, and his knee isn't settling down either. So, unfortunately, Phil thinks he might need medical intervention on it, I'm
Youch.
afraid. So, yeah, hope our regards to him, and we hope Dick Yates is recovering well. I'm sure he's not taking it easy, knowing Dick. So, we'll see how we go. But I was talking about the comp season. We're pretty well into it, our
Yes.
full season almost. This weekend is the last of the Pathfinder Summer Series. I'm not too sure if the AJ have finished their early bird series
I think they've
yet.
got one more.
More?
Up.
Well, they got the
There's-
Scottish coming up next.
Yes,
so
I think that was sort of like technically their last summer.
Okay, yep.
one,
And then we're into the winter season, kicking off with the Blackwood, and we'll talk about the Blackwood a bit later. But I was just having a quick look at the results, Jess, from the Pathfinder Summer Series. Wow, what a competition in all classes,
No,
right?
it was pretty tight there on some levels.
I tell you what, and I'm really impressed to see such a great field in A grade. We got Ben, Mitch, and Sam fighting it out. Basically, I think Ben came out on top,
With cleans.
equal with Sam.
And then he's pipped him at the point with the cleans.
Yeah, and that's trials, and Mitch is right on their tail, and Mitch has had a win in A grade as well this year already. So there's a great comp there. Looking down into the yellow line, into trial 3, if I can get it right. A great field in there. Awesome. Josh Austin took the tops up out there, so
Nice
good on
work.
you there. Great to see Michael Keel back into it and have a go. Jaden Lowe back. Great to see Jaden riding as well. And I see Stuart McNaught had a crack at B grade in
Now,
the yellow line.
I think there should actually be a parental line.
A parental line?
There should be a parental line, and Stewie and Julia could go neck to neck as to who can ride a trial with their child in the middle, because he was going through the sections with little Charlie. I think Charlie had just a nuts of a time.
Oh, that's awesome.
But on a couple of those sections, I was just like, oh, I'm not watching.
Ah, that's awesome. And I in the blue line in the vets and in trial 5, great trial 4, should I say? Fantastic competition in there, a huge field, and the club class. Well, you were saying Ian Coates.
Ian Coates, yeah, took it out on 5,
Oh.
if I remember correctly. So
No.
it was just like, woof.
No pressure, Ian. No pressure.
No, and I think that actually came from a 3 and a 2.
Oh, good.
So, wasn't actually dropping too many there.
Awesome. And good field of sidecars, 4 sidecars on the weekend. So,
Wow.
and it's great to see Steve and Katie, I was going to say
As your
husband and
husband
wife.
and wife. Father and daughter.
Father and daughter.
daughter.
And that's awesome. And I believe Steve said that Katie might even be game to have a crack at a road sidecar, which I wouldn't recommend it, Katie, but no worries. No, that's cool. And of course the juniors, great competition in the juniors with Piper and Jack and Holly. So they're fighting it out there.
And Jack got
Jack's
he pipped it the last round
on the black
clean.
plate.
Yeah.
Black plate.
No, not Jackson. Jack Walling.
Oh, Jack
Jack
Walling, that's
took
right. You had a
out
clean lap.
On final lap. So
You
that
had a clean lap.
That was a good ride.
Yeah, so great field there. No, awesome stuff. So that's our shout outs for now. So
You forgot one shout out.
oh, who's that?
Me.
You?
Yes.
What's your shout out for?
For painting the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
My poor little hands. and that's what I was going to bring a neck brace onto the show. You want to get something organised?
So that you know what Jess is talking about. Jess couldn't contain herself. She had to paint the new MD trailer internally.
Yes.
So she's painted the roof and the walls. And oh my God, I'm not going to discuss the colour. Right, that Jess chose the colour. She's the fashion guru, so you'll just have to wait and see the colour.
I've kind of let a few little snippets
Have you? Right,
on the Insta stories, and if anyone's following. But
she painted the roof, and she wanted to borrow my neck brace
I needed it after that.
You know what it's like. So yeah,
We
awesome.
should have employed a painter. Where would we find one of those?
I got no idea. No, not one that knows what they're doing anyway. Awesome. Now, our mechanical bit for today, Jess. What's our mechanical bit for today?
We are going to learn about the clutch sleeve cylinder.
Whoa!
What it does, I don't know, but it's a thingamajiggity that goes on the whatchamacallit that makes the thing go.
Yeah, that's right. You got it nailed. You got it nailed.
I thought I did.
So on the weekend at Summer Series 4, a gentleman was having a bit of trouble with his clutch. And we ended up identifying it was his slave cylinder was the problem, and he was losing his hydraulic fluid in his clutch master cylinder, and it ended up being the O-rings in the slave cylinder. So we actually were able to pull it apart there at the trial, and I was able to find some O-rings for him, and They weren't actually. It was a Sherco slave cylinder. It was a Sherco bike, and I found some gas slave cylinders O-rings that fitted. Now he hasn't given me a report on how it's gone, so it may be that they're exactly the same ones.
Yeah.
So that's something we just found out by luck. So I thought to myself, well, what a good subject for the show. So I thought I'd show you a few slave cylinders because there's a little subtle difference between the beaters, the standard Shercos, and then your gas and your TRS and Vertigos that have diaphragm clutches. So there's a slightly different actuation. I'll get my tang and a tungle here. In regards to how the clutch disengages on these bikes. So I thought, now don't tell Neil, Jess, right? But
you took out his bike?
Yeah, I've stripped this off Neil's bike.
Well, I saw some bike out there, and I was
the one lying down. Yeah,
lying down. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I covered up the nameplate for Neil. Didn't know whose bike it was. But yeah, so I've pulled one out of a gas, and then I've pulled out of Neil's old bike. He's out of his beater. I've pulled one out of his beater. So I'll start with the beater one. So
just let me get my head around it. Yeah. That thing is the same as that thing, but different on different bikes.
Basically, yeah. So that is a clutch slave cylinder.
Yep.
Which incorporates a cover as such, and this is a clutch slave cylinder. Hence, but no actual covering. So
well, that's where you got me confused.
Yeah.
Before you even give me
exactly
talking to this morning.
Yeah. So what's the name? If you want to go to the close-up shot if you want to.
Yep.
My tech man will.
Do we need to
will
move
tell
him
me.
a bit?
I don't know. I'll wait for my tech man to tell me if I'm
No, you're good there.
in shot.
Bring it up a bit higher and closer.
A little bit higher and closer. How's that?
Yep.
So this here is your clutch slave cylinder on a beater. It bolts onto the right hand side of your motor, just in front of your front sprocket, and basically this is your piston, and this is your slave cylinder. Your piston has a couple of O-rings on here which seals it, and basically that just pushes in there. You've got 2 O-rings that do the sealing, and effectively, just so you know, when you pull your clutch in, the hydraulic oil comes down in here and presses that out.
Yep.
Presses that way, and then there's a rod that goes through the center of the gearbox shafts.
Yep.
And actually pushes your clutch plates off, or your pressure plate off, so your clutch can slip. And then when you let go of your clutch, the pressure plate pushes the slave cylinder back in and the clutch engages. So if you find that you're losing brake fluid,
Yep.
and there's no obvious leak on the outside of the bike, it's quite possible it's these O-rings here. Now it's quite a simple job to replace. All you need to get is a
toothpick.
A toothpick, yeah, a wooden toothpick would do the job, or any small object, preferably nothing that's going to damage your O-rings. And effectively, all you got to do is just hook that in there, hook your O-ring off gently, and off comes your O-ring. You can check it, clean it all up. If it's got a bit of dirt and it looks in good condition, you can just pop it back on. But if you think you need to replace it, then you just replace it. So
Now, how can you tell if, this is going to sound like a stupid question,
yeah.
how can you tell if you're losing clutch fluid? Like, where does it come from? Does it come out of that little system there, or?
So your clutch fluid's in your reservoir up on your handlebars.
Yep.
And you've got that little lid that you fill your brake fluid up with.
Yep.
Or mineral oil, which we'll talk about.
So is it usually from that top section up there, or down lower?
That's where it'll leak. It'll go down, and some of them will have a little window that you can actually see.
Oh, okay. So you don't mean like it's leaking out of the bike?
Well, no. This is the thing. If it's leaking out of the bike, it'll be up around the handlebars.
Yep.
Or if you've pinched or damaged your hose anywhere leading down to your slave cylinder, right? If these are leaking, you won't know, other than losing brake fluid or mineral oil, because these will leak into your motor, and you won't know.
No,
right? And it's so small amount that you won't notice any increase in your oil in your motor.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to show you, because it's a real simple job to do, to pop your O-rings off, put new O-rings on if you want to put new O-rings on. Right, now with the beater one, when you go to reassemble it, now the beater ones, and I think obviously some of the Shercos, but you've got to check, use brake fluid. Now with brake fluid, before you reassemble them, you can put what they call, well, I call it PBR rubber grease, but that's just a brand. But it's brake components rubber grease. You just put a smear of that on your O-rings. Now what I do, before you assemble it, fill this up with your brake fluid, and then pop your O-ring in, pop your piston in like this, and then just get it started, and then your brake fluid will start to come up. Hold it up like that, then press it just in until the second O-ring is taken up, and then your brake fluid should start to push up here, and then just top this up with brake fluid, then put your banjo bolt and your hydraulic line on, and then you won't have any air in your master cylinder. Okay, so then all you've got to do then is bleed the air off the line. Now people have got this fixation on air in their systems, right? Now if you have to, you can. There's a bleeder nipple here where you can back syringe your brake fluid back up to your reservoir. if you haven't lost much oil out of your line, you can simply let gravity do its trick. I've showed on earlier shows how you can just have the cap off and just flick your lever in and out just a little bit, and it'll pick up.
Yeah.
And allow all the air to come up. Now gravity will do its trick, right? So your fluid will flow down for simple gravity as long as your line is lower than your master cylinder, and you have your handlebars twisted a little bit so your master cylinder is sitting on a slight angle up, and all the air will come up, and you just work that lever and you'll get it out. But anyway, simply that's your slave cylinder. Now
maintenance on those, is it something you should check every season, every 6 months, or just
this sort of stuff is generally at worst if you're really pedantic, if you're Barry Barton, if you're Mr. Sheen as I call him, he would probably do it at least 12 monthly. This sort of thing, you might pull it apart 12 monthly. Probably no need to do it any more than that. I would call this an end of season type of service. Unless something's going wrong and you have to address it. So this one here is your. Are
we back to the?
Yep, we're back to here. This is your gas one. Now your TRS and your Vertigo are basically
hang on.
Exactly the same.
No, you just lost this camera.
Do you want me to?
Neil's having a bit of trouble with the camera.
See, look. Problem number 2.
Problem number 2. There you go.
One more to go.
One more to go. So this one here is your gas slave cylinder.
You've got to hold it up to the camera, or else I won't see it.
But it's also.
Do you want me to hold it?
No, that's okay. Yeah. How's that? Is that close enough? Or you want me to get closer?
No, it's good. Lift it up a bit higher so people can see it.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go. So this is.
Next time, ask me when you want a close-up.
Oh.
Not 2 minutes before we go live.
Well, my tech man's going crook, and I showed him what I was working on, and then I said to him, "Where's the close-up camera?" So he chucked it in 5 seconds before we started. So no stress. So as I was saying, this one here is your gas TRS Vertigo. Basically, they're all the same, pretty well. I'm just talking ballpark. So your actual slave cylinder is in your clutch cover here, and if you look on the inside, if you pull this little hat off.
If you bring it back to camera 3.
Oh, we're back here now. Oh my God!
Hold it there.
Right. So here we go. So this is your slave cylinder, kind of in reverse to the other one. You've got, when you take this, I call it the top hat off. Right. You take your top hat off here. You've got your two O-rings here, there. And these are your O-rings that seal your slave cylinder. Now your hydraulic oil comes down here.
Oh, that's a bit fancy schmancy.
And pushes up here and pushes this hat up, which releases your clutch. So that's the how the gas ones work. And TRS and the Vertigos as well. So now on here you've got, if you pull this little O-ring up, like so, this is your thrust bearing. There's a bearing and a washer that pushes on your fingers on your pressure plate. So that's how it operates. So basically this one's exactly the same as your beater one. You just take that off. Now these have a spring in them where the beaters don't. And actually the Sherco slave cylinder, which is very similar to the beater, they have a spring in it as well. So be careful. The beaters don't have a spring, but the Shercos do. So you pop that off, same thing. You got yourself an O-ring here. Get your toothpick in here. Pop your O-ring off. Bob Jarney there, and pop a new one on, and there's one down there as well. And there you go. Now, topping this up with oil. Okay, it's a little bit. It's basically the same as the beater one, but what I do is I fill the top hat up, as I call it. Fill that up with oil. It's not going to hurt to fill that up with oil as well.
Yep.
right? Have it so where your banjo bolt and your line goes on here. Just hold them like that. Marry them together. And then just get them started.
But you need your spring in for that.
And your oil will start coming up there. Yeah, definitely. As Jess says, make sure you put your spring in first. Because when you look in your tray later,
you'd notice that you didn't have it
you forgot to put it in. So, yeah, top them up with oil. Pop them on. And your oil will start to put up here. Just get it past the second O-ring. Once you've got it past the second O-ring, top that up with oil. Put your line on. Start to put it all back together. And then you can bleed your line off the same as before. Now, important note.
Looking at the right camera, just making sure.
Everyone's telling me which camera to look at. The important thing to note is with all the diaphragm clutches, to my knowledge, use mineral oil in their systems. Now, in the earlier days, they used to have a green master cylinder cap on the clutch to denote that they have mineral oil in them. A lot of the newer ones will simply have mineral oil written on top of them.
Yep.
So make sure you check your manual of your bike to make sure what you should be putting in your clutch master cylinder, whether it takes brake fluid or whether it takes mineral oil. If it takes mineral oil, you don't want to be putting brake fluid in it,
Yeah.
and go from there. So that's basically it. I just thought I'd share that with you from there. And the other thing, the idea of these tech bits, what I'll do is that if someone's had a bit of a problem on the weekend at a trial, or someone's brought a bike around to me with a problem, and if I think it's a good subject matter, we'll run that. So
well, here's a question from Leslie Ferguson.
Oh yeah.
She's looking on the TY and cannot find the slave cylinder anywhere. Where would she find it?
Well, then that's a good point, Leslie. Now,
well, I don't know if it's Leslie or Robin. It comes up Leslie, so
yeah.
I'm just making sure.
I'll bet you it's Robin, because Leslie's a lot more intelligent than Robin, so she will know where to find the clutch slave cylinder on her TY. Well, she doesn't actually have to find it on her TY because she doesn't have one anymore. She's on the Sherco 4-stroke.
That's right.
Electric start. So there you go. So to lube the clutch on your TY, you have to hook a little jiggly thing.
Yes.
Right. You screw it on top of the cable, and there's a little hole with an O-ring in it, and then you get your nozzle off your RP7 can, and you put it in there, and you spray it, and you lube your cable. That's where you put the on the slave cylinder on them.
Now, luckily, we have someone of your vintage to know those things.
Exactly. So, in actual fact, speaking of Robin Ferguson, the next tech tip he wanted me to cover is that he checked his TY. He was going through the checks on his TY, and he'd lost spark, and the bike wouldn't start. So he took the magneto cover off it and lost a lot of the coolant out of it. There. So now the problem he's probably got is he's just put straight water into the magneto cover instead of using the correct coolant to keep the magneto and the electrics cool in there. So Robin, my recommendation for your TY stator and points is you must use a suitable aluminium coolant to keep all that lubed and cleaned. So there you go. There's a tip for Robin.
Of bonus information there, people.
Yeah.
That's a joke, Jess.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just let the viewers know at home, because not everyone even understands those words you're talking about.
No.
Well, anyone that's running a TY today will know that.
Or anyone of your vintage.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Robin, he's taken his side cover off. And his magneto on points were full of water, which they shouldn't be. And he's had to clean it all out. And I think he said he's got spark in that now.
Well, now, Simon, you've literally got 4 minutes to speed through
Holy
the rest of your
moly, you're joking.
right.
Just a bit.
Yep, that's enough.
So, bit of news. The good news is, well, I don't know if it's good. It's good for some people. We're off. Me and my lovely wife Julia are off to the Fink in about 5 weeks' time to support Paul, who's riding a Beta 450.
So we'll have to decide what we're going to do about the show, whether or not we'll just make it the Neil and Jess show.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe I could come live from the Fink. Who knows?
Oh, that could be scary.
The bad bit from my point of view is I'm going to miss the Blackwood, which is a real shame.
Oh, and that is going to be
I'm
epic
really,
this year.
really disappointed to be missing the Blackwood. But Motor Dynamics will be there. Neil and Jess will be manning the Motor Dynamics trailer. Motor Dynamics will be sponsoring the Blackwood as we normally do. So it's the first winter event, and one of our major prize will be an X11 rear tyre.
Ooh, I could get a rear tyre for my TRS. I could make new TRS have a new tyre. Oh.
So yeah, we'll in the true support of the Blackwood, we'll have prizes there for everyone to be entered into. We do the draw at the end of the event, and all the riders' numbers will go into the draw. There will be one entry for each class, so there'll be about 10 prizes there, and the main prize, of course, is an X11 rear tyre, plus a whole pile of other products that MD carries. So, and the other thing, Neil's off to the Walpole this weekend, so we won't have Neil this weekend, but
no, but you will have me.
So
Denmark.
Walpole?
No, it's not the Walpole.
Oh.
It's a Walpole Enduro.
It's a Walpole Enduro. Walpole Enduro. State round down there.
Yeah,
so
no, we're just sending Neil off for that one because it looks like it's going to be cold and wet and miserable.
Yeah.
And I particularly don't want to spend 4 days in a swag with 2 children and not being able to do anything except stay in a swag.
Where's your sense of adventure, Jess?
No, I'd rather kick them out at
cool.
Pinjarra and let them run wild.
So you'll have the kettle going in the MD trailer?
Yes, I'll have the kettle going at the MD trailer.
Looking forward to having a cuppa.
Sweet little trailer now.
No worries. Now, speaking of products that we're going to have on special for the Blackwood and the prizes, but we have got a fair few stock coming in. We've had a whole pile of tyres come in, helmets, clothes. We've just received a number of boxes of GRO products for the season.
And if they buy one, do we just throw in a box of complimentary steak knives or something?
Get one here and get these free. Bikes, we've got heaps of bargains out there. Well, I don't know if they're bargains, but they're friggin' good bikes. We've got a brand new Evo 21 250 available. Check out our website for the Gas rebates.
I remember you were saying that.
Gas have gone mad and brought out with some fantastic rebates on their bikes. You won't get a better bargain. These are it's the COVID impact and all that sort of stuff. So there's some great bargains there. We've just had in, now this is a private sale. I've got a couple of private sales, but these bikes are mint. I've got a 210 Evo 250, and it's barely done 30 hours of riding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the guy bought it brand new off me. Got his son and himself got into flying, and he never got to go do trials. So
understand that.
I got another mint 2018 300 Evo that again looks like brand new. Honestly, it hasn't barely been ridden. And of course I've got Chris Simon Vertigo Titanium, the top of the range titanium.
It's a pretty sweet looking bike.
Absolute mint. I've also got a bike rack. So if anyone's looking for a bike rack to go on the back of their car in their tow bar, that's from that Beta Evo 210. He had that. Now someone's excited.
Well, I don't know if I'm excited. I am excited, but I'm also scared about getting a new bike. I'm just petrified.
Oh, so I'm going to have to check the tracking, but it is due tomorrow so it may even be here. You never know, Jess. It might be in WA. But so there's two more TRSs coming.
I've actually tagged Neil in it because I've been stalking Chris Bale's Facebook because we've got him on Neil's show tonight and I needed to get a photo.
Oh, yeah.
And there was this guy on a TRS and oh my lordy, the vertical face he wrote up, that was just
insane.
Oh my God.
That was Mr. Adam Raga.
Well, so now I figured that, now that I'm going to have a TRS.
You'll be
Sue's
riding
got
up
a TRS,
Vertigo.
We'll just be like going, we'll be like top was a riders.
Awesome. What do we got? So the next event, have you entered, is this weekend, this Sunday.
Yes.
Well, actual fact, there's 2 events this weekend.
Yes.
There's the trial school, the TDN fundraiser trial school on Saturday.
Yep.
Now you need to enter online, I believe, because I haven't entered, but of course I'll be there. But I trust you have to enter online for that, and I hope you do that, because then I'll know who's coming. Now I've got a number of coaches all set up for it. So we've got the Saturday TDN fundraiser event, and you can the training, formal training, will be in the morning from 9:30 to 12:30, and then you're welcome to practice after that for the rest of the afternoon.
Now, the kettle and all that will be on, but I won't be manning that one. I can only
Yeah.
make it to the
Sunday, yeah. No, that's cool. That's
Sunday
cool.
session.
The other thing, of course, is the trial on the Sunday, Summer Series 4. Make sure you've got your entries in for that.
So, how hard are you going to make it this year, Simon?
Now, who?
How hard are you going
No,
to make it?
I'm not going to make it that hard.
No, really? Because I distinctly remember last year's, and I was
Yeah.
writing it,
Yeah.
thinking, Neil said this was supposed to be fun, and it's not fun. So you might want to just give him a little bit of a break.
Well, I'll blame Neil for that one. Now it is this is also this Sunday is also the early bird AJS summer number 3, because this is an inter-club event. So it'll be both Pathfinders and
yep.
AJS members at this event. So that's awesome. And then the AJ's got their Scottish, so an awesome event that. So check out that. That's coming up. Then we've got the second OSSET Challenge
Yes.
coming. So check that
Really?
one out for the kids. Yeah, that's in between the Blackwood. So
Oh, it is too.
yeah.
Wow, that's
so,
just come along fast.
So and then of course you got the Blackwood, and that's it. So I reckon people, you should be getting your bike check up and having a look and checking your bike out. Now, MD's got their little bike check list for you
yes.
to use.
Yes, we do.
So with all those events coming, I reckon you should get your bike check list up and get into it and make sure your bike's ready to
Do we have
roll.
a bike checklist for new bikes?
Yeah, it's exactly the same as the one for all bikes.
Just making sure.
Make sure they download that from the website.
Yeah,
Yes.
just download it off the website. It's there under Resources tab on the right-hand side of the page,
Put
if
the
I
link in the
believe.
comments.
Yeah, so there you
You're
go.
putting the link in there?
So,
Leslie's just asked, is training for all grades?
yes,
Yes.
all grades. Yes,
Perfect.
definitely.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no worries. So, really, that's it from me. How am I going for time?
Oh my lordy, Simon, you've only gone 4 minutes over. I'm very, very impressed.
Well, you put the pressure on me.
Well, you see,
Yeah.
I thought that could have been our third problem. That would have been our third hiccup.
No, running over is not a problem at all.
No.
As far
Well,
as
don't
I'm
worry,
concerned.
Neil saved at least one for his show, so, you know.
Awesome.
Gotta have one in the bank.
Yeah. No, that's great. Well, I tell you what, it's fantastic having you on the show. We really enjoy doing the show. Look forward to you joining us for episode 14.
Ooh.
And but more importantly, I look forward to seeing you at the next Trolls event, and come and have a couple with us and
Definitely.
stir me up. Yep. No problem.